Hello, hello. This wonderful morning, we're going to check out the China Nikke release and all the complaining. I don't know if we're going to look into too much of the complaining, but there is some complaining over the quality of life differences that are in the China server versus global and the others. China did just release officially recently, and I think, to be honest, some of these are really just catch-up mechanics that will be eventually will be quality of life improvements, um, hard and fast, right? But for the time being, really, some of these are just a way to help a new server kind of gain traction as they move forward in their release. Um, let's get into it. Loading times are significantly reduced. Who else has accidentally taken a screenshot of their black screen on their phone because their phone had turned off, or they thought it had turned off during the loading of Nikke? Me right here. Tribe towers have auto progress. This is going to save you about 10 seconds over the course of 3 minutes once a day. I don't know who else does this, but I just auto my tribe towers, and if it doesn't work, then I'm not trying any harder. So I don't really care. Regular and manufacturer molds don't have SRs, and failed molds build up to a 100% SSR mold. That makes a big difference. Again, kind of feels like a catch-up mechanic, though. I don't know that it's the biggest deal. And to be honest, this really goes into a mentality question of, are you comparing your account to other accounts? Are you comparing uh, your situation to others in a gotcha? Right? Am I going to start complaining that somebody's boss pays them 10% more and therefore they have the ability to have a 10% better Nikkei account? I don't know. That kind of thought process can spread a little bit, and be real. They had less time. It just released, so there's less time to dig in and try and earn all this stuff. I don't know that it's the biggest deal. Battle Pass has 2 levels. I think if you're complaining about a specific feature around any of their passes, you're kind of missing the fucking plot. The Nikkei has the most garbage event passes I've ever seen. It's like $20 for everyone, and some of those are like, it feels like it's 5 pulls you get for like $20. And sometimes I just think, who is buying these? Like, it's the equivalent of going to the store and buying like thousands and thousands of dollars of level up materials. It's just kind of, you're wailing at that point. So I don't really feel bad for you. Um, Multiple characters have had their kits buffed, according to Sefhi, who will continue to cover them in time. Those are these links down here. I'll shout out the account at the end. Yeah, character buffs. It'd be cool if we all got the same characters, but again, it's essentially a different game you're talking about. You can now level up 5 characters at once until you're over the 160 wall. That's more, again, quality of life. You press one button instead of like three, in order to level up your character. And I guess it's 3 times 5, right? So it's one instead of 15. Definitely a lot less clicks, but this is like something you do once a day at the beginning of your account for the first couple months. I don't really think it's the biggest pain. Shops have been updated with better resources, and characters are available in other shops. Okay. Individually, I don't have too much of a problem with this, especially because of catch up. And I think what we're going to talk about at the end is the fact that it's more about the collective summary here and the difference between the thought process between the two servers and how these two groups will be treated. But any one of these changes, I'm not really too upset about. CN has animated solo raid frames as well. Who cares? Synchro Machine no longer has 4-hour cooldown. again, who cares? You know, put all your SSRs in there and move on. And if you can't clear content, wait until you have more level up stuff, and that's kind of it. Resetting units no longer cost gems, only useful for new players. Again, this is a problem for like no one that's been playing. I've only been playing for a month and a half or something, and this this is already not a problem for me. I don't really see why this would be. Why would this warrant two exclamation marks? Update 4, the CN version has a censorship bypass that lets characters have the same designs as global. Oh no, they get the same thing we do. Yeah, I'm not going to be upset about this. Let's read the summary. I don't see a single excuse as to why global did not get these quality of life changes. Catch up mechanics. I think this complaint is a lot more valid in 3 months when the average China player has the equivalent account power level to a global account, right? And it probably will be very quick how they're going to progress and catch up, because the power level has a lot less to do with which characters you have and a lot more to do with just like how much stuff is on your account. And that's more of a time thing, to be honest, in this game, from what I can tell. Even worse is that the global Nikke accounts are shilling Stellar Blade 24/7, now pretending we don't notice what they are doing on the CN servers. I bought the $80 package for Stellar Blade, and I am going to go hard in that so I can get the Nikke skin. I don't care. And I'm not pretending that I don't notice. I just don't care. I don't care. Different groups of people are treated differently based on what the local environment calls for, and some communities want to be treated as superior in the gaming market, and in some are like a little bit scrappier approach, and it's not that they're not going to be upset that the other person is superior, but if Nikke believes that, or that Shift Up believes that this is the move that's going to earn them the most money, then they're going to do it. And I don't know, that mentality is not a surprise to me. So I don't know. You can be upset about that, but if you're upset about that, stop playing the game, because that's really the reason the game is the way that it is overall, right? This is not the only problem. That the game is it's abusive. The purchasing, the payment model, everything about it is made in order to take advantage of its players. So I don't know how this is the point that pushes someone over the edge. I'm not liking how radio silent the devs have been since the 2.5 anniversary. It feels like they put the game on autopilot and they're only using it as a platform to promote Stellar Blade for the foreseeable future. Look, they're not. We're gonna see. They are not silent. They, in fact, are loving that people are upset about this, and they love that the China release is superior. And to be honest, the 2.5 anniversary was not that long ago. It really wasn't. And it makes a lot of sense for their developers to be focused on other launches and other things that take development effort. And it's okay for periods of time to be a little bit more quiet while they pump out other stuff in other games that they also support. I think that's just kind of being realistic. It's pretty reasonable to be upset though, and to voice your opinion that you want them to prioritize your game over other things that they're doing. But in reality, would I rather more Stellar Blades in the world than more Nikkes? Yeah. If they could make another cool Stellar Blade game and that meant that Nikke was deleted off the App Store, I would vote for that. Just because, like, make more single player cool games that don't have abusive payment models or monetization models. Um, but just a man's opinion, I guess. Let's look at this guy. We're not going to listen to the video too much, but I'll put these two video links in the description. Um, he goes into the different screens that are available. He shows off kind of the split between the different battle passes, and the fact that some of these things are a little bit more conveniently set up. Um, Geez. Uh, yeah, that's it. Oh, look at the new skin. Yeah, so the last thing I want to cover here is just, I thought this was funny. The CEO, I guess, the Nikke CEO is mocking the subreddit for the Nikke mobile game, and he's basically saying after the Chinese server was officially launched yesterday, foreign players posted on Reddit detailing the many advantages of the Chinese server, such as greatly shortened load times, free character resets, no 4-hour cooldown time for synchronizers, etc. This is actually the episode that Chinese server players are the most proud of. Again, it's really just pointed at the fact that Chinese gamers want to feel like they are prioritized, or they likely won't play the game. Um, and I think that's kind of a known phenomenon, and I don't really blame them for trying to serve that interest, because that interest is essentially their interest. If they don't if they don't feed into players expectations, then their financial situation will be affected. And you know what? I'll say this. If the US players had that same expectation, if they could actually put their credit cards away for 10 minutes to hold their ground on their own expectations, we would be instantly given all of these changes. But you guys can't do that. So cry more is my opinion. Thanks for the view. Like, comment, subscribe.